guys, welcome to Algebra or Foundations of Algebra, lesson 7.5. I think today you're going to find that these are kind of fun. They might make your brain hurt just a little bit, but they're asking us to use the logic that we've been working on all of this unit, thinking about those for sure statements and going through clues or different steps to try to figure out orders of different things. So let's jump into our first problem. The first problem says Malika's afternoon schedule has 3 classes. She has history, English, and math. One thing, they give us some information. They say English is not the first class. Math is before history, and history is not after English. And so we need to determine the order of her classes. Now, there's not a specific way to do this. Sometimes the clues are not in order the way that we need to figure them out. And so we just need to read and see if we can figure out something and then go from there. So I am going to start with the first clue this time. It says English is not first. And so I don't know where English is, but I'm going to move it out of the first position. It might be second or it might be third. The next clue says math is before history. So I'm going to go ahead and move math to be before history. Now, it doesn't necessarily say math is right before history. It just says it's before. So English might sneak right up here in between those two. Or English might be here at the end. So we're going to look at the last clue to see what it says. It says history is not after English. Well, if history can't be after English, then English can't sneak up there between the two. So we'll put English at the end and say that the order of her afternoon classes must be math, then history, and then English. Again, not a specific way that you have to do this problem, but it's just about looking at the different choices and thinking logically through the hints and clues that they give you. So letter B says Carla, Jay, Lena, and Michael are running in a race. Then they give us some information. Jay comes in third place, Lena finishes the race before Carla, and Carla finishes the race before Jay. Figure out who finishes first, second, third, and fourth. Well, one thing that we can know for sure before we even begin is that Jay comes in third place. So I'm going to go ahead and move Jay to the third position. Next, it says Lena finishes the race before Carla. So I'm going to go ahead and move Carla before Lena. I don't know where they actually fit in the process. Lena could be first or second, Carla at the end, I'm not sure. But then the rest of that clue says Carla finishes the race before Jay. Well, since there are only 2 spots in front of Jay, it must be that Carla is right before Jay and Lena is right before Carla, leaving only 1 spot, fourth place. And since I only have 1 person left, that must be Michael. So in this case, we would say Lena, then Carla, then Jay, and finally Michael. All right, then the last one, and this is actually number 1 in your workbook. So when you get to the clickable document, you're actually going to have this number 1 done. So you might want to write this down. It says there are 4 houses in a row on Redwood Drive. Each house is a different color, yellow, blue, green, or orange. It says the blue house is to the right of the yellow house. Well, the way I have them drawn here, the blue house is to the right, so I'm not going to make a change yet. It says there are no houses to the right of the orange house. Well, that must mean that the orange house is down here on the end and nothing is over to the right of it. It says the yellow and green houses are next to each other. Now, that clue tells me that the greenhouse could be right here in between the yellow and blue, or the greenhouse could be over here on the left side of the yellow. So I'm going to wait to place that one until I read the last clue, which says the yellow house is not at the end of the street. Well, if I put the greenhouse between the blue and the yellow would be at the end of the street. So that logically tells me the green must be here at the end. So I'm just going to shift these houses over. And it looks like then that we found the color of the houses would be green, then yellow, then blue, and finally orange. Now, these are kind of fun puzzles to think through, and that's what you're going to be doing on here. Sometimes we get the order wrong and we have to go back and rethink the clues. So, how do you know where to start with these clues? Well, there's not a really nice, easy answer. You just need to look for something that's easy, that's sensible, and that you know for sure. And so sometimes that's the first clue, sometimes it's in the middle, and sometimes it's at the end. It really doesn't matter where you begin as long as it's something easy and sensible to begin with. And then, last but not least, how do you know if you're right? Well, the best way to know if you're right is once you get your pieces in order is to go back and read the clues and make sure everything makes sense. So in this last example, if I read through my clues again, it says the blue house is to the right of the yellow house. So is it true that my blue house is on the right side of the yellow? And I would say yes, that's true. Next, there are no houses to the right of the orange house. I would say there are no houses to the right, so that one makes sense. Third clue says the yellow and green houses are next to each other. Is that true? Yep, I have the yellow and green next to each other. And finally, the yellow house is not at the end of the street. I agree, the yellow house is not at the end. Since all of my houses seem to make sense in those clues, then I can feel confident that I've got that order correct. Guys, I hope you have fun solving these today. It's okay if you get a little frustrated on some of them, or if you're unsure, give it your best shot and let me know if you've got any questions. I'd be happy to talk about them with you. Sometimes just talking out loud about them helps you make sense of the problems. So give that a try or send me a message on Google Hangouts and I'll be happy to chat with you. Have a great day and I'll see you later.